everyone. Welcome to Dee Dee's Beauty Box, where I talk about all things beauty. Yes, guys. So, what I'm doing today, which is going to be my first video, so I hope you guys like it. No, today we are not creating. No, today we are not putting together a wig or a full face or a beat face. But what we are today, we are going to go over the beauty room because although we have already looked at the beauty closet, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what I use as far as makeup. So you're just going to walk through all of my makeup and some beauty tips, right? And then hopefully, if this video can get to 1,000 likes, and then we will go ahead on and start creating Dee Dee's Beauty. Okay? So, first tip number one, what I always do, and I always say this tip number one, of course, wash your face. Please, wash your face. It's that simple. Some people choose to wash their face with, excuse me, some people choose to wash their face with a soap scrub. I don't particularly like scrubs. I feel like they're a little harsh on the face. You can sometimes get the ones that are mild. I just don't do scrubs. Some people use regular soap. I don't consider that. And some people use a moisturizing wash. I do a moisturizing wash. The moisturizing wash that I use is usually called I forgot the name of it, but I think it's I could probably link it into the description. So no problem. I'll link it in the description box below. But I use a moisturizing wash. After I use a moisturizing wash, I also use a moisturizer. I can also post that in the description as well. Using a moisturizer for your face after you wash it is very good. I'm not talking about anything really heavy. I would say use something very light because you don't want your makeup to be greasy and you don't want to start sweating or anything like that. Just a really light moisturizer to get your face moisturized so that it can be very healthy when you applying on makeup. After that, I actually have all of my makeup stuff right here. So sorry about that, guys. My camera kind of like shut on me, but I don't know if you guys can see all this over here, all of my stuff. But I'm just gonna go through it with you, very, very simple, and it's something that I love doing, right? So the very next thing that I usually use, because I have a lot of primer, okay? I have this primer here. This primer, I don't know if you can see that. This is a really good matte primer. I will also leave this primer in the description box below. You can use any type of primer. I like this one. It's very matte, but it doesn't dry my face out, which I love a lot. It really is a great primer. Another good primer that I love using is the Neutrogena Shine Control Primer. This is a really, really good primer as well. I'm going to walk you guys through a couple of primers that I actually use. Of course, I don't use this all on my face at once. Every primer does something different. Even if that primer tells you that it's a matte primer, it still will give you a different matte look. I don't know how to explain that, but like this one right here is more of a control primer, so it controls the shine and any greasy things on your face. So if you guys need a close-up on that, the Neutrogena Shine Control Primer. And then I use another primer that I really, really like a lot. This is called Face Magnet Primer. This is by Pop. A lot of my primers that I do use, you can get it from your local CVS, or sometimes you can get your primers and stuff like that from Ulta or even Sephora. I know Pop I got from Sephora. So this one is a really good primer, and the reason why it's called magnetic because it grips the makeup without the makeup running. That's a very good, sure way to put on good makeup, you guys. So I just want you guys to get a good look at this. So if you're looking for a primer to grip your makeup in the summertime, this is a really good primer. Matte is a good primer in the summertime too. Anything with matte quality primer, meaning that just a dry primer, not something really oily. It has moisturizers in it. You want to stay away from stuff like that, especially if it's the summertime. That's why it's very important when you do apply your primer, even if your face is oily. I say this because it's true. If you tend to have a very oily, consistent baked face, yes, it's going to be hard to apply moisturizer than your primer because you're going to be like, what did my face get oily? If your face is very, very oily, I will honestly say after you do the wash, do a serum. Don't worry about the moisturizer. Just do a quick serum, let the serum dry all the way, then find yourself a good matte primer. I'm going to still go through some more primers. I know you're probably like, wow, how much primers do you have? Guys, I have a lot of primer because, like I said, every primer does something different. Even if it tells you that it's mattifying, some primers are more matte than others. Some primers are more like matte but blurry sometimes than others. So I have problem area skin. I don't have like a lot of pimples or anything like that on my skin, but I do have a lot of discoloration sometimes. So what I tend to do is a serum is really good for me. I still keep the base of my face clean. I still do what I can because my face was actually worse than this. It has healed a lot. So I do a lot of great things to my face. And also, of course, we know eating right is also good for your skin, but that promotes good skin health. I'm looking for something that's going to be right away. So like I said again, I'm going to put in the description box what I use for washing my face and also what I use for the moisturizer, along with whatever serum I use and the primers that I'm showing you today. Okay. So also I have another primer, and this is what I mean by some primers can say the same thing, but they're completely different. So the e.l.f. one tells you that is a grip primer. You see that? It tells you it's a power grip. And e.l.f. you can get from any place, Family Dollar. You can get from your local CVS, Rite Aid, Target. It doesn't matter. e.l.f. you can get this from anywhere. Now the reason I say this about e.l.f. is because yes, e.l.f. does grip the makeup, but e.l.f. for me, this primer leaves a little bit of a oily residue. Not really residue, but just it leaves a little bit shine, and that's only if I'm looking for something to shine with, because it does have its benefit factors in the winter, but I just wouldn't use this in the summer. All right, and let's see. Hopefully, I can get to the bottom of these primers. Here's another primer that I use. It's called Matte Locke Infallible by L'Oreal. L'Oreal is a very, very, very good brand that I use. I love L'Oreal's foundation as well. L'Oreal is a good primer. Okay, the only drawback I have is after a certain amount of hours, L'Oreal starts to wear off. And this is true. Even with their makeup, they are already aware of it. They're still working on some products. See? So, and hopefully, let me see, do I have any more primers for you guys? I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't show you all the primers. This will take half of the video. Like I said, I do have a lot of primers, but my ones that I'm showing you right now is the ones that I use primarily. And the last primer I have is the Smashbox. This is super, super light Smashbox, but I do use the other one that comes in all black and it has like a silver right here. That one is what we'll call the matte. This is super light matte, so it's not going to give you that direct matte feel. So you can take certain primers, because this one only supposed to smooth and blur out your makeup, which is really, really good. I do like this photo finish. The thing is with Smashbox photo finish, which is my favorite thing, it does give you that photo finish, but because this is super light, and if you really, really want that photo finish look, you can actually pair this with something else since this primer is actually light. And when I say pair it with something else, you can take this primer and pair it with your other primers, which are the grips, the ones that I showed you. Like I believe that, I'm sorry, the matte. So since this is super light, this will be a good thing to pair. So you have the super light photo finish to give me the smooth and blur, and then you have the infallible matte lock. So imagine both of them. That means that it's going to give you blur, it's going to give you smooth texture, and it's going to give you the matte look. So this is perfect. You can actually put primers together. Some people do not know that. All right, now on to the next thing I would love to talk about. I know we talked about primer. Primer is very important. I tell people this all the time. Primer is your go-to, especially when you are applying makeup. Please, always primer. But the next thing we want to talk about is foundation. So I do have a couple foundations that I would like to show you guys. So the first foundation that I actually love and use is Lancome. Some people don't know that Lancome is really, really a great. Yes, it is on the high end, expensive side. I did get this from Ulta, but it's one of my go-tos because Lancome actually stays on long. And when it says sunscreen is already in it. That's why I don't sweat in Lancome. I love Lancome. Um, and it doesn't. I mean, sunscreen. It doesn't cause a bad reaction to my face. Because sunscreen is good for your foundation. Because you don't have to put any additional sunscreen on. That's what I meant to say. Now, there is another foundation that I do use. This is another high-end foundation. I got this from Ulta as well. This is called Nars. Nars is really good. What I love about Nars is that, honestly and truly, because it tells me to shake well. I don't know why I'm shaking it like I'm putting it on. But yeah, Nars is another good one. It stays on really nice, and I love the texture that Nars has. It's very nice and very smooth. I love Nars. Another foundation that I currently use for the side of my cheeks just to get the stuff, down, because I always use two because I want to mix the colors because my face has two discoloration. So I take this here, which I just talked about L'Oreal. This is infallible. I take this in the number 111 soft. It's called Sable. Soft Sable. I take this and I apply it to the cheek area because I want to blend out that. Now, some people use a color corrector. I just don't use a color corrector. I found this to be better than using a color corrector for me. Always do what you think is best for you. These are just some tips that I use for my face. But like I said, you guys are going to start seeing more about tips, ideas, and what I use for my primer, my foundation. I can't go over everything right now far as like what I use for my eye palette. That's just way too much. Just wanted to give you a basic base of what I use for my face. Also wanted to discuss with you that sometimes I do bake. So I use Sasha Buttercup to bake. And I do want to talk about baking because I'm sorry, this little part. I don't know how that broke off, but I do want to talk about how I bake because in the summer that's what I do. I do bake and I do this translucent honey, and this is by Laura Mercier. This is a very nice high end another baking, as you guys can see. I just okay, but yeah, this is another high end baking. I got these from Ulta. Okay, so that really actually, other than that, guys, I mean, honestly, for the under eye, the highlighter and stuff like that, I use Tarte. Tarte is really good. This is another one I got from Ulta, but I'm gonna put as much as I can in the description below. But again, guys, this is just some quick tips of what I do for my face. Can't wait to start creating with you. This is my first time on the channel. I hope you enjoyed just a little bit that I have showed you. We're gonna go over brushes as well when I start getting deeper into the channel and start doing more creations, because I do want to go into that because brushes are very important as well. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dee Dee's Beauty Box. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.